Hey y'all, today I am enjoying the beautiful sunshine. We had temperatures down to about 26, 27 last night, and now it's in the afternoon and we are up in the high 50s, low 60s already. And our 10 to 14 day forecast shows no more freezing temps. In fact, the lowest is mid 40s and we are up into the 70s in some areas. So very excited about that. I think spring is here. Knock on wood. And so today what I'm going to be doing is, see all those boxes right there? I'm going to be creating 4 new raised beds for my backyard space. I'm going to be layering cardboard underneath them and getting them prepped to be filled with dirt or soil. I don't want to say dirt, it's soil, y'all, with soil. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up, and make sure you drop me a comment. What are the temperatures in your area currently? Are you dealing with freezing temps and snow, or are you enjoying sunshine? Okay, I've been collecting these beds over the last couple of months. They are 8 foot by 4 foot by 1 foot. They are gray metal sides. They look like this. They have a support in between. I do have similar beds over here that I built last year. They are only 3 feet apart. They might be 4, but they do not have a thing in between to support it, which I wish they did, because you can see that they bow out just a little bit. But eventually, everything from these planters, or these planters, it's going to be moved out. These are going to be stacked on top of each other because they can be stacked for a taller raised bed, and then they are eventually going to get moved back to this corner for a shade area that I'm going to be working on later on this year. But these other ones over here, these 4 are going to equal about 32 linear feet of new planting space for me, and they are going to go right here in this negative space right here. So let's get started. I do want to point out that this project definitely evolved as I continued going through it. So what I talked about earlier in the video will actually change slightly as we continue to go through, and as I figure out a better configuration of these beds within my backyard. I found them fairly easy to put together. I thought doing them outside in the sunshine was definitely the way to go. Okay, so that took about a half hour to build 8 by 4 by 1. Really love the color of it. I think it's super pretty. You can kind of get an idea of what 4 is going to look like based off that. I think it's going to look really good. I felt like it was really fiddly with all of these different little screws, and with this like clear stuff that was over the top of it, that took forever to peel off. I might go do that inside just so I don't sitting in the sun that whole time. I don't want to get burned, since this is my first really big foray out into the sunlight in several months. Okay, but let's get going on the rest of the 3 remaining ones. Okay, I want to walk you guys through something I learned. So the instructions tell you to install the support bars like this. However, there's a whole lot of give when you do that. Let me show you this one over here. Look at this. And I mean, these bolts are tightened. Okay, so what I ended up doing is crossing them like this, and it gives it a whole but much more rigidity in the design. So I did go against the instructions and cross them instead of doing parallel like this. Much more manageable and sturdy. You can see the 3 beds on this side laid out in kind of like Tetris. If you're from that age, which I am, Tetris was one of my favorite games, and so I love this look. I can still reach everything in each of the beds. I think it's worked really good. Still a place for Buffy the sun over there. And then over here is a little bit of a hot mess, because what we have since decided is we're going to keep this bed here. I've got 2 additional beds that are 3 by 6 coming, that are going to come off this side and come off this side like a Tetris, just like on the other side. It's set smaller scale. And then these 2 beds are going to get dug up. These are all going to be transplanted, and then they are going to get moved back into this area, which is an area I don't show very often, but this is actually going to be eventually a shade garden. So we're going to move those two raised beds back in here. So that will leave me with the Tetris over here and the new Tetris over here. And then these two beds will be moved out of the way. So basically I'm going from 32 feet of new bed space because I ordered 2 more. I'm gonna have 44 linear feet of new bedding space, which is insanity, y'all. I'm so excited. Now, also part of the process, all of these are gonna be transplanted. These are my Lysianthus, my garlic. I do not end up loving these Amazon planters. I think they're messy looking. I think they look like trash bags. I want my space to be pretty. That's a personal preference. A lot of people don't care. They're more utilitarian, and that's totally cool with me. This just doesn't work for me. And so I'm gonna be transplanting all this, and I'm gonna be donating these to another gardener in my neighborhood. Once I fully saw how large this load of soil was, my 40-plus-year-old back just didn't think I could handle it. So I hired a couple of teens from our neighborhood who are great hard workers, and I paid them to use their young backs and fill up all of the beds for me. And it was worth every single penny. They did a great job. Okay, so I'm not even sure what day we're on this project now. We work on it, and then I go back to real life, and then I come back to it and all that good stuff. So let me give you guys an update before I get started on today's work. Okay, so the beds have been set up. We've got cardboard laid across them, and then we've installed the soil that I ordered. We did mound up the soil a little bit because we do have a big rainstorm coming in tomorrow, so this will pack this down a little bit more and settle it out. However, I feel like it's a little bit too high, so I'm probably gonna take some of this, which is compost on top, and move it to some of the outskirts out here, which I plan on planting shrubs in the future, so I think that'll be good. So we've got 3 beds over here. And then over on this side, we have the 4th 8-foot bed right here. Okay, so then here's my project today. I'm gonna level this out right here. All the snapdragons in here are gonna go into the 8-foot bed, okay? Once I've done that, I have a new 6-foot bed that's going right here, okay? I'm gonna take the soil from that, put it in the new 6-foot bed, all right? Then this guy, this raised bed, is gonna get moved back over here into the new shade garden. Then I'm gonna install a new 6-foot bed right here, move this soil into the new 6-foot bed, and then this old raised bed is gonna get moved back into the shade garden as well. So a whole lot of moving soil today. So let's get started. I did want to address what type of soil I have. I ended up calling Living Earth Technologies and speaking in one of their salespeople, and I ended up with a 2-to-1 ratio of landscape mix to compost. And they thought that that was a great combination for what my plans were in these flower beds. I highly suggest you call before ordering. We ended up using small buckets to transfer most of the soil. We found that much easier than a shovel. The shovel was just, with the amount of wind going on, there was just dirt spraying all through the air. And so we definitely found the buckets that made the whole process much easier. We also put lots of layers of cardboard underneath each of the raised planters, at least 3 layers. It's a very inexpensive way to block out the grass. Tired. That was a lot. Husband came out and helped. I had to call in reinforcements. Yeah, let me show you guys where we're at this point. Okay, so we leveled out this 4x8 right here. Originally, this guy over here was right here, and it had all the snapdragons, so I moved them out and into the new 4x8. Then I built our new 3x6s, attached them on the side, and filled these with dirt. Or soil. I feel bad calling it dirt, soil. And then this bed right here is going to be moved at a later date. It has allium bulbs coming up in it and some peonies. The peonies I'm okay moving, but the allium bulbs, I don't feel super comfortable. See those guys coming up? I don't feel super comfortable moving the allium bulbs. So I'm going to let them do their thing. I've never had allium bulbs actually show up for me, so, you know, I just hesitate to mess with them too much. So this bed is going to stay here for now, but eventually it's going to be gone, and you'll see my kind of Tetris bed here. Zigzag bed. So it'll just be the zigzag bed on this side, and then sorry, we had to move the greenhouse. Watch out, Buffy. And then we'll have the zigzag bed on this side. So a ton more planting space. None of that existed 2 weeks ago. I did want to be upfront about the cost of this for you all, because this was not an inexpensive project. We saved for quite a while to be able to do this, and I did buy the raised beds over several months to kind of break apart the payments. But I've listed everything above just so you can see what the total cost was for approximately 44 linear feet of new raised bed space for planting. This should really give you an idea of how much the beds cost, how much the soil costs, and how much the labor costs. I am sure that there are ways to cut down this price. We could have done all the labor ourselves, but we chose not to. I did buy a higher quality soil, but I thought that was important for a raised bed. And I could have gone with a less expensive product than what I ordered on Amazon, but I just really like the look of these, and I really like the reviews of them. So I really felt like I chose some quality products that are going to be in my garden for quite a while. Okay, so that's all for this video. All of these beds were purchased on Amazon. I dropped all the links below so you can check them out. They are affiliated links, so I do get some compensation if you choose to order from there. So I wanted to be super upfront with that. However, you do not need to use my links. You can certainly look at what the name of it is on the link and then go type it into your own Amazon account if you don't want me to get any compensation regarding that. It's not a problem either way. I'm very happy with the metal beds so far. I did show you guys that one hack. Instead of doing the middle brace bars straight across, I ended up crossing them, which made it way more stable. It makes them slightly out of square, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather them be more stable and not bowing out than be square. So I'm happy with that. I chose the metal beds because lumber is very expensive. It actually would have been more expensive for the to create lumber beds. And then also we have termites in my area. I'm not interested in bringing termites closer to my house by offering up a buffet of wood for them. So that was the first big step on this new raised bed project. So I will enjoy showing you guys so many other videos and all the flowers I'm going to be planting in these this season. You can see it's following from ear to ear. I'm really excited. So as always, she's a bad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.